Yo, YouTube, what's good, man? So look, y'all saw the title of the video. We got another Wallace banger, bruh. Look, the Star Wars stuff is probably my favorite that he's made. He needed some more DC shit too, because he did one about being a Green Lantern. He got a whole Lantern Corps, a whole spectrum, and we just got a Grey Lantern in DC Comics. I seen that shit. I don't know a lot about it, but we just got a Grey Lantern, bro. And I'm not alone this time. I got friends, guys.
Yeah.
I got friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna watch the Wallace video with me. Let's see.
Is this the same guy who made like how to be like a Super Saiyan or whatever?
No.
How to live life?
This is the like he makes videos. Let me show you his page. I've watched almost every video he's made. He basically tells like how it would be, like why it would suck to be this, why it would suck to be that, why it suck to be
Yeah, your life as a Dragon Ball Saiyan. Yeah, he was the guy.
Oh!
You open your eyes for the very first time, and congratulations.
Hold on, Wallace? I see the animation increase, Wallace! Hold on, Wallace!
Yeah.
Okay! I see you!
You're human. Well, kind of.
W
You
human.
find yourself floating, suspended in a weird glass pod of mysterious fluid. And you're one of hundreds, if not thousands of beings living in these pods. That's right, you're technically not even born yet. You, like your millions of brothers just like you, are the product of cloning experimentation on the planet Kamino. Standing around you and your fellow pod dwellers are scientists with lab coats and really, really long necks. They take notes, inject your pod with strange serums, and watch you grow from a single cell to something resembling a human baby. You have to admit, it's pretty boring in here, just floating in your pod. You can't wait to be officially born so you can get the heck out of your pod and get your life started already. But
Hell
unfortunately
yeah.
for you, you don't realize it yet, but you're a clone trooper. You have no idea what kind of things are waiting for you on the other side of this tank. Before you were even a single-celled speck floating around in your glass casing, your entire life had been planned for you. Years and years ago, a Jedi Master commissioned the Kaminoans for their expertise in cloning to build an army for the Republic. Unfortunately, the Jedi was sabotaged by the apprentice of a Sith Lord, resulting in a Sith takeover of the cloning project. But no one knows that yet, so let's pretend you didn't hear that part. The Sith recruited a Mandalorian bounty hunter known as Jango Fett to become the genetic template of the clone army. Jango Fett, a human.
I can see why they chose Django, but why would you not choose, like, I don't know, like a disciplined Jedi or something like that? So they can have proficiency with a lightsaber if need be, and a fucking blaster. I mean, like, no, I feel like that makes sense because they, like, Order 66 was gonna happen regardless. Why not ensure that the clones could definitely kill the Jedi?
Yeah.
Was known as the best bounty hunter in the entire galaxy. He was a skilled marksman and highly proficient in hand-to-hand combat. You and all of your clone buddies are kinda sorta all of Jango Fett's children. The first clone, known as CT1/Alpha, was later named Boba Fett, and he was raised by Jango. But the rest of you aren't quite so lucky.
That's
You,
fucked up.
young clone trooper, have been named CT134820. Hopefully you can come up with some sort of nickname, because CT134820 doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. And you certainly don't want to get confused with other clone troopers, like CT134819 and CT134821. That would just be embarrassing.
See, y'all can just call me Zero. Since I'm 2-0, you can just call me Zero. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a fire name. Anybody else got that name?
The Kaminoans have been poking, prodding, and testing you and your fellow clones to
Why did testing have to be a tongue? What are they testing? How I taste? Like, no. What?
To make sure that water is really reusable.
They the reusable dish soap, the reusable dishwater. That's fucked up.
ensure you become the most impressive fighting specimens in the galaxy. Jango Fett's genetic template was modified in you and the other clones, adding hyper-aggressive, volatile tendencies to your personality. They also made a few tweaks to your decision-making skills, keeping your creative thinking intact while making you much more susceptible to following orders. You're not totally a mindless drone, just brainwashed from birth to make sure you don't step out of line. And just in case your thinking gets a little bit too creative, the scientists who made you added a behavioral modification chip to your brain so any of your unsavory decisions can be overridden by your rulers.
Man, what the fuck? They ain't even got free will like talking about, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you do have free will, but it's only free will to do exactly what the Republic wants. Fun. Furthermore, your overlords are impatient with you and your clone siblings, insisting that the Kaminoans accelerate your growth. Gotta add more soldiers to the already enormous army, right? Growth acceleration in clone troopers means that you'll become mature in half the time it takes a human to reach the same maturity level. You've been growing in your weird pod for 4 months or so you should be ready to pop out of the proverbial oven at any minute. But surely the real world is going to be better than being suspended in a pool of liquid, right? Right? You're finally born one day. In other words, you're taken out of your pod. You don't know anything about anything. The only thing you're sure of is that you are the descendant, sort of Jango Fett, who you and your clone siblings revere.
Yeah, and here go another thing, right? I seen the Stormtrooper video. Why do they give them armor that's dead ass just like the best plastic you could buy? Like, why would they do that? Like, I get they can't get Veskar. I know that. But I'm just saying, like, you ain't gonna give them nothing. Like, nothing.
The cheapest one. To give that all those troops? Cheapest one.
Yeah, but I mean... Yeah, I guess.
As a sort of father figure. Jango doesn't even visit or hang out with you, or take you fishing though.
Punk ass daddy! Man! The fuck? Punk ass pop. What wrong, man? Like, you ain't throw the ball, you know what I'm saying? Teaching how to fish, kill somebody. Like, man, fuck. Should be pissing me off.
He's totally absent, and you hear the scientists muttering about Jango, referring to you all as mere livestock or cannon fodder. Nevertheless, you and your siblings don't believe this, putting Jango Fett on a high pedestal, nearly a mythological status in your minds. That's the only thing you know on your first day outside of your growth pod on Kamino. Real life begins now. And right off the bat, you're starting to miss your nice, quiet pot of liquid. You and the other clones have been divided into 2 groups, odd class and even class, depending on your
Hold up.
numerical designation. Odd
Is 0 odd or even? Gotta be even, right?
I guess.
Cause I
Gotta
mean,
be.
it's nothing and nothing. So a bunch of nothing is nothing.
Yeah.
Like how 1 is odd. And 2 is even. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 0 gotta be even. Yeah. Oh, let me search it up. Is 0 an even number? Fucking knew it! Fucking knew it! Telling y'all, bruh. Them brain meats. Alright.
class clones are given helmets with gold fittings, while even class clones are given helmets with black fittings. You're already pretty bummed, because the gold looks way cooler than the black does.
Wait. Who get what now?
Helmets with gold fittings, while even class clones are given helmets with black fitting.
Got black.
I mean,
Or you got black.
yeah, because I'm 0, so black. Fuck. Man, why I can't get a gold helmet, bro? Oh, we got 9 minutes until the Dragon Ball Super.
You're already pretty bummed.
Man, we ain't gonna
because
finish this
the
video
gold
in 9
looks way cooler
minutes.
than the black does. Already, you can feel a competitive spirit.
Look, here's what I'm gonna do. We just gonna watch it, and then whenever it starts, I'm gonna just cut the recording, and we're just gonna come back like nothing happened.
Alright, yeah.
Brewing inside of you. You would do just about anything to improve the stature and status of your even class teammates. But things are about to get really difficult for even and odd class members alike. Something they don't warn you about is that the accelerated growth hurts. Talk about growing pains.
I bet it do.
You were growing at twice the rate of a human despite being a
That's
clone
fair.
of a human. Your muscles, skin, and tissue are stretched and pulled to their near limits, all while you undergo intense physical training and education. To supplement this growth, you consume a grain nutrient paste multiple times a day. It's gross, slimy, and rather tasteless. But it's not like you've tried anything else in terms of food. Rumor has it that higher rankings...
Man, boy, the second I get a taste of some motherfucking peaches, nigga. Man, the second I get a pineapple, boy, it's over with. I bet dirt would even taste good compared to that shit.
Soldiers out on the
Good
battlefield
nutrient
eat
cereal.
fruit or roasted meat. But until you become a specialized soldier yourself, these rumors will stay rumors. You were hoping someone would give you a nickname or something, but those are forbidden here. While you're on Camino, you're not allowed to develop any sense of identity whatsoever while you're undergoing your training and continuous testing.
Man, fuck you, nigga. I'm Zero, nigga. Man, call me Big Z, boy. Fuck wrong with you? Yeah.
These tests consist of simulations, sports that represent battles, and endless mental and physical drills. You and the other clones are not viewed as humans, but as cogs in a giant war-mongering machine, built for nothing but death and destruction. Which makes you realize pretty quickly that running a massive operation like this takes a ridiculous amount of organization. Which is why this video is sponsored by Odoo.
Oh, is it now? Is it really? Oh, that's crazy, man. The niggas ain't slide me no bread. Fuck wrong with you?
Your fellow clones are less than a year old. You'll continue to be drilled and educated.
Wallace, I love you, boy, but niggas ain't slide me no bread. Shout out to W, man. Hey, look, if you want a cup, you know what I'm saying, some good, very good tasting energy, you know what I'm saying, blend. I got motherfucking Dragonade right here from W. Make sure you use code ISSADUB at checkout on w.gg for 10% off your purchase. Yeah, shout out to W, man. I can do them too, Wallace. I can do them too.
Until you reach maturity around the age of 10. Talk about a downer childhood. None of you can regulate your emotions, and you have no one to run to for comfort or support when training drills become challenging. Rebellion and raging out is common in your peers, but these clones are swiftly dealt with. If you have even a small bout of anger, like a sarcastic comment or a snide comeback, you'll be placed in what's called a retraining pod, which is similar to the pod you grew up in. It's essentially solitary confinement. If you have a larger outburst of rage, the Kaminoan engineers have threatened to fail you during your testing period and dispose of you. You shudder to...
Alright, so boom, right? As the only black and Asian clone troopers, here's what we would do.
Yeah.
Look, all we gotta do is just stay on blank face, right? Like, obviously they'll know if we exert some emotion. Cause you know the chip and shit, but we only be like casually that around each other. You feel me? Like not even other clones and shit.
Yeah.
And then whenever we graduate on their ass, and you know what I'm saying, we get, you know what I'm saying, now it's acceptable, you know what I'm saying, to have those shits. We murder everybody. We get all the look. We be on some Bardock shit. We try to recruit as many people as we can, and we just start killing all the scientists and shit.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way we could save the brothers.
Think of what that means. Despite the fact that you aren't supposed to make friends, it's pretty difficult to follow that rule when you all have so much in common. You have a few friends among your fellow clones, and you don't want to get them in trouble or wind up getting isolated yourself. You do your absolute best to bite your tongue when training becomes difficult or even savage. After all, in the view of the engineers, you're nothing but a product to be perfected in service of the Galactic Republic. Your education consists of extremely intense classes that use screens and focus-enhancing helmets to help you and the other clones memorize information that could one day be useful on the battlefield. No need for math, literature, art class, or biology. You are learning information that will aid you in becoming a killing machine. No more, no less. In your battle training, you and the other class clones are organized into squads to help you learn cooperation and teamwork. Congratulations, you are now a clone cadet.
See, Nubin, this is where we start killing people, right? Yeah,
that's where we start.
This is it right here. We gotta start getting people on board. It's already me and you, so we, you know what I'm saying, divide and conquer, get as many people on board as we can. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what we gotta do.
Younger clones are monitored by full-grown clone sergeants, who are monitored by bounty hunters. You're hoping to be good enough in your training to showcase your exceptional abilities, beating out the rank and file troopers to become an elite soldier.
You said what?
3.5 minutes.
Shit. Yeah, we'll probably make it like right there.
Like a clone commando or an ARC trooper. The alternative being janitorial duty, or worse yet.
Wait! New plan. Fuck that old plan.
Yeah?
Old plan's ass.
Yeah. Alright,
We become janitors, nigga, right? You gotta think about it. A janitor probably has the best job in any facility. You got keys to everything.
Yeah.
You got keys to everything. You gotta get in there and clean, right? You gotta clean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting into the Jedi Master's office. I'm gonna find out everything I can about, okay, boom, I was born in a tube. I see all these little baby niggas around. That nigga was a baby yesterday and he a baby today. Nigga, I was a baby yesterday. I'm a full ass a teenager today. Some shit ain't right. Yeah, hey, I'm telling you, we gonna infiltrate the Biden, you know what I'm saying? Do it out.
Disposal. No one is sure what disposal means exactly, but clone troopers who have been disposed of are never to be seen again. But regardless, you and your fellow trainees view Kamino as your home, despite all of the obvious cruelty you face every single day. It's not like you know anything different. Besides, Tipoca City, the capital city of Kamino, is rather nice. Well, you don't know what the planet itself looks like because you're shut in a brightly lit facility for all hours of the day. But you assume it's nice. You've never seen rain, oceans, clouds, or even the sky. And you probably won't unless you get to leave the training facility to participate in combat. But despite that, the engineers and trainers have been very encouraging towards you since you left your pod just a few years back. I mean, they encourage you when you're violent, stoic, and loyal to the Republic at least. So you remain steadfast in your mission to become one of the greatest clone troopers that the galaxy has ever seen. After all, it's not like you know that life could be way, way, way better if you were just born somewhere else.
Yeah,
now,
born
after
literally
20 years
anything
of intense
else.
training, you're technically only 10 years old. But thanks to your quote-unquote accelerated maturing, biologically speaking, you're in your early 20s. You've been promoted...
What? Nigga, I just got here. It's my third day out here. What the fuck? Man, they trying to throw all this shit on me, bro. Like...
from a cadet to an active duty soldier, known as a shiny by your superiors. And this means it's time for you to get your equipment. You wear a black body glove covered by white plastoid plates. Your helmet looks similar to that of a Mandalorian shock trooper helmet as a nod to Jango Fett's genetic influence. Finally, you're given a utility belt to carry all your stuff and plastoid boots with high traction soles. Oh,
I bet. I'm
what's
gonna link you.
plastoid,
I'm gonna
my
link you.
Plastoid is a plastic-like material that's lightweight, electrically insulating, projectile absorbing, and very inexpensive to mass produce.
But then them motherfuckers be dying in one hit. So how the fuck is that possible? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how?
That's right. After all that training, you and your other clones are sent into battle wearing glorified plastic. Not steel, not Kevlar, just fancy plastic.
Fucking
To be
plastic.
fair, plastoid can be as strong as steel and as protective as Kevlar. But the real reason you're wearing it is because it's cheap and easy to make.
See, and that's what I'm saying, bro. They send me out here to do all this war shit for them, right? Like, I'm out here risking my goddamn life, right? And they put me in some goddamn plastic.
That's what I said earlier, man. It's just cheap. Cheap to mass produce.
Like, bro,
Gotta give something to everybody.
like, bro, they can't give me like composite shit, like how they got at jobs and shit, like the composite toe instead of the steel toe. Like, y'all could at least give me that. Like, come on now, bro. Y'all burning on that shit, man. Just owing me at that point.
But hey, anything to support the Republic, right? These guys can't be wrong. No, really. From your perspective, they literally cannot be wrong. Because your brain is hardwired to reject any thought of them being wrong. Besides, this isn't Phase 1 armor, which was just recently phased out. This is fancy Phase 2 armor, which is stronger, lighter, and more adaptable than the preceding model, which some of the old vets used to refer to as a body bucket. because it was so heavy and uncomfortable. So things could be worse, I guess. Anyway, you're armed with a DC-15A blaster rifle and blaster carbine for long-range combat, and a DC-17 repeater hand blaster for short-range combat. You're also given grenades and thermal detonators, all at the ripe old age of 10 years old. On planet Earth,
I thought they said we was mid-20s. What the fuck happened to that?
Our like biological age is like 20s.
Oh.
Because we grow
you wouldn't
faster.
even
True.
be able to drink a beer yet. But on Camino, you're old enough to be trusted with explosives and weapons. The galaxy is a strange place. Your other equipment includes a medical kit, a grappling hook, spare ammo, and rations. You like to be prepared, so you also carry sanitary wipes and a multi-tool, just in case. After all, much of your training...
You mean to tell me we this far into the future, we got laser blasters and shit, and like I don't got a built-in pocket knife? Like...
It's a dystopia, man. We're fighting for resources.
I mean, I guess, but like y'all got enough resources to make this super plastic that's shock-proof, bulletproof, apparently, and I can't get like a... Man, whatever.
Was done in a simulation. You've never actually cleaned and stitched up a wound, so you figure that you're better off bringing more with you than less. You begin your active military service towards the end of the Clone Wars. As your predecessors were annihilated, the Republic needed more and more soldiers, meaning more and more clones. Being on the battlefield changes a person, and despite your loyalty to the Republic, the battlefield is changing you too. Being in the real world has made you develop, well, a personality. You have differing opinions than others in your squadron, different battle styles, and even different morals. Some of the higher up soldiers are much more vicious than you are, employing ruthless tactics against...
You know, it's actually kind of interesting how the clones all have different, whenever you're free, so we can talk more.
Yeah.
I bet. But it's crazy how the clones have different like thought processes and shit being the same person.
your enemies.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought a clone would always have to be like the same.
Torturing them to gather information or letting them slowly bleed to death as they wither in pain. You know that what you're doing is noble. After all, you've been raised to believe so. But you can't help but think deep down that some of these more brutal behaviors are wrong, if not completely immoral, even if they're in service of preserving democracy across the galaxy. To raise morale, you're allowed to develop hobbies, within reasonable parameters. So you've taken up tattooing yourself and your friends. Covering your body in art makes you feel like an individual, a real person, and your friends are impressed with your talents. You try to keep it on the down low though, because you have a sneaking feeling that your individuality wouldn't go over too kindly with some of your superior officers. During the...
Why not just make them look like a wound or like a birthmark or something? Well, they would know if you had a birthmark. Never mind.
Clone Wars, you and your fellow troops were featured heavily in wartime propaganda. You and your fellow soldiers appear as the patriotic symbols of the war effort as the Republic promotes peace through strength and military might. There's even action figures of your likeness sold to children. You can't help but find...
Wait, they got in-universe action figures?
Yeah, that wouldn't know.
What the fuck?
This messaging ironic, given how few rights you have as an individual clone trooper. The Jedi provide a lot of lip service to treating you as individual people, but you can't help but feel like they still just see you as a mindless war drone. Moreover, the law treats you as property of the Galactic Republic. If you had been allowed to read any piece of literature or history, you would likely piece together that this makes you a de facto war slave for the Republic. Some senators publicly rationalize the brutal deaths of your friends, claiming that they're fulfilling their purpose. And yet, this doesn't make the loss of so many of your friends any less painful. You have a couple of Jedi friends. There seems to be a mutual respect among you both. Anti-war propaganda has recently started to spread throughout the Republic. Years ago, you would have been revered as a hero, but citizens are angry at your mere existence, so it seems, even criticizing the fact that you're only 12 years old, which you might realize...
Ha! Look at him, he's 12!
was
bitch ass nigga.
Fair criticism if you realized how young and naive you were at just 12 years old. Now at the age of 15, you're biologically 30 years old.
What?
After years of constant, unrelenting warfare, the Republic struggled to keep up with the ranks of the enemy. Even with the accelerated growth rate of the clone troopers and intense training to replace fallen troopers, the Grand Army was wearing thin. With the army weakened, it was time for the Sith Lords to deploy their secret weapon. Years ago, when you and your brethren were being engineered, the Sith had them implement a behavioral modification biochip in the brains of the clone troopers. With just a flip of a switch, Darth Sidious issued Order 66.
The most
making you
legendary
and your
order,
brethren turn
bro.
on all of the Jedi that you were fighting with. You trained your entire life to support the Republic, befriended the Jedi, and built your entire identity on defending and preserving democracy across the galaxy, only for an evil Sith to simply demand that you murder the soldiers you came to see as family. You hate yourself. But you can't stop it. You and your fellow clone troopers eliminate the Jedi without question. After the destruction of the Jedi Order, the Sith reclaimed control over the galaxy under the leadership of Sidious. The clone troopers who survived the war, yourself included, became the first generation of the Imperial Stormtroopers, now serving the will of the Emperor without question. You can't help but wonder if you're the bad guy in all of this, but it's not like you can change anything about it. You're on the winning team. Besides, you have a brain chip forcing you to justify all of this horrific behavior. You become cold.
Wasn't that motherfucker Finn in what's that shit called? The one with Rey? Like, you know, the newer Star Wars movies? Ain't that motherfucker Finn a stormtrooper?
I don't know anything about Star Wars.
And unfriendly. You give up your hobby of tattooing. The marks on your body now just a remnant of a life gone by. About a year after the war ends, you retire, as new non-clone recruits begin to replenish the ranks of the Imperial Army. You're aging rapidly, despite only being a young teenager. Your entire body hurts from all the battling and warfare that you've forced it through. You can't help but wonder what the damn point of all this was. After you retire, some of your fellow clone troopers enter private security or consultation before dying at incredibly young ages. You have no civilian job skills. The only thing you know how to do is kill and wage battle. A few exceptionally charismatic clones find success in running for political office, but those are few and far between.
Them niggas gonna be dead in like 2 years, nigga. The fuck?
And you've always been more of an introvert. The Empire offered
that's
the rest
enough
of
for a
you some
turn.
sort of pension as
I guess.
retirement to reward you for your years of service. Your entire life of service, really. And you didn't even have a choice. But the reward is paltry at best. It's not even enough to live on. You've outlived many of your brothers, and you consider them to be the lucky ones. You're homeless and destitute thanks to the lack of social support for veterans and the false promises of housing from the Empire.
Damn, they
you
got a
are,
blunt.
or were, a cog in a machine. And now, with your service over, and your body aching and sore from dedicating your life to training, now you're just waiting around to die.
Nah, that actually would suck to be a fucking clone trooper. Oh my god, Xenoverse is real. It's real! Hey, look, if you enjoyed this video, man, make sure you like, comment, or subscribe. And send it to your grandma, nigga.